Assalamualaikum and good morning. Okay, before we begin, I would like to share housekeeping rules to ensure a smooth session. Kindly ensure that your microphones are muted and turn on your cameras when required. Participants are encouraged to change their display name to the following format: your university name underscore your name. To edit your display name, please click on the participants panel, search for your name, and then click on the dots icon on your name and click on the Edit Display Name button. Participants may scan the QR code displayed on the screen for registration. Meanwhile, the feedback QR code will be shared at the end of the closing ceremony on day 2. Upon completing the feedback form, you will receive an automated certificate of participation for FOSTUC 2026. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all of the respected deans from the Faculty of Food Science and Technology, Universiti Putra Malaysia, Faculty of Food Science and Agrotechnology, Universiti Malaysia Terengganu, Faculty of Food Science and Nutrition, Universiti Malaysia Sabah, Faculty of Applied Science, Universiti Teknologi MARA, Faculty of Applied Science and Technology, Universiti Tun Hussein on Malaysia, distinguished keynote speakers, esteemed lecturers and panelists, and participants joining us from various universities. Welcome to the 4th Food Science and Technology Undergraduate Colloquium, FOSTUC 2026. I am Nur Azlina Ridwan, and I am honored to be your MC for today's session. Today, we are gathered here virtually to explore the theme of advancing food security through translational science. This event aims to bring together final year students to share their insights. We have a packed agenda today featuring a keynote speech and a concurrent presentation from the final year students under science and social science categories. Without further ado, let us start officially our program. To begin, let us stand for the national and state anthem of Negaraku and Sabah Tanah Airku. Next, to seek blessing for this event, I would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Ridwan bin Julan to lead us in the recitation of the Doa.
Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain. Ya Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, we thank you for granting us the opportunity to gather here today for the opening of the fourth Food Science and Technology Undergraduate Colloquium, FOSTUC 2026. We humbly seek your blessing upon this event. Grant us knowledge that is beneficial, wisdom that guides us, and heart that are sincere in seeking your pleasure. Ya Allah, bless all the organizers, keynote speaker, participant, and guests who have contributed their time, effort, and knowledge to make this colloquium possible. Reward them for their dedication and commitment. Ya Allah, make this colloquium a platform for learning, sharing, and collaboration. Inspire us with new ideas, strengthen our passion for knowledge, and guide us to use what we learn for the benefit of humanity. Ya Allah is all the matter throughout this event. Protect us from any difficulty and grant success to everyone involved. We ask you, Ya Allah, to accept this gathering as a good deed and shower us with your mercy and blessing. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
Amin, Amin. Thank you for the Doa recitation. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially mark the beginning of FOSTUC 2026, it is my great honor to invite Yang Berusaha, Professor Technologist Dr. Hasmadi bin Mamat, Dean of the Faculty of Food Science and Nutrition, Universiti Malaysia Sabah, to deliver his opening address. Kindly direct your attention to the screen for his recorded speech.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings to all delegates and guests. On behalf of the Faculty of Food Science and Nutrition, Universiti Malaysia Sabah, I'm pleased to welcome all distinguished guests, invited speakers, academic colleagues, presenters, and students to the 4th Food Science and Technology Undergraduate Colloquium 2026. This colloquium is an important academic platform made possible through collaboration among the Faculty of Food Science and Technology UPM, the Faculty of Food Science and Agrotechnology UMT, the Faculty of Applied Sciences UiTM, the Faculty of Applied Sciences and Technology UTHM, and the Faculty of Food Science and Nutrition UMS. We appreciate the continued commitment of all participating institutions in supporting undergraduate research and academic excellence in food science and technology. The theme Advancing Food Security through Translational Science highlights the importance of translating research into practical outcomes that strengthen food systems, enhance safety and quality, and support better nutrition and well-being. FOSTUC 2026 provides undergraduate students with a valuable opportunity to present their research, develop scientific communication skills, and engage with peers and academics across institutions. I extend my sincere appreciation to the organizing faculties, invited speakers, judges, moderators, and committee members for their time, effort, and commitment in making this colloquium possible. Thank you, and I wish you all a meaningful and rewarding colloquium. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and greetings to all delegates and guests. On behalf
Thank you, Professor, for the inspiring address and words of encouragement. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we are now ready to proceed with the next segment of our program. We shall now proceed with the FOSTUC 2026 montage presentation. Please direct your attention to the screen again and enjoy the montage. Next, we will have the Universiti Malaysia Sabah theme song, Bertekad Cemerlang.
UNS lambang puncak jaya, pancaran perjuangan semangat wajar, pembentuk citra pelindung budaya, memandu bangsa memaju negara. Di sini dicanai segala fikiran, di sini dikaji segala wawasan, ilmu iman sumber pedoman, makin curah kasih budiman. Bayu bertiup nafasmu sejati, bumi terhambat menunggu abadi, samudra biru macam berseri, surya menyinar tenagamu murni. Kaulah harapan bangsa maju, kaulah jembatan nusa bersatu, berdiri megahkan harta luhur, menuju alam kami tuju. UNS kaulah tunggal negara, warisan sejati Malaysia tercipta, bertekad cemerlang mencari budaya, semoga unggul dan sejahtera.
Thank you. Before we proceed to the next agenda, we will have a photo session. May I kindly invite everyone to turn on their cameras and then please give us your best smile while you still are fresh.
Ready?
Okay. Okay, turn on your camera. Okay, ready? On count 1, 2, 3, smile. Keep smiling. Keep smiling. We have another page. Again, smiling. We have another page. Smile, keep smiling. Say cheese. Okay, we're done. Oh, so we have 20 pages of pictures. Okay, now thank you for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we conclude the opening ceremony of FOSTUC 2026. We shall now proceed with our first keynote session. So I would like to introduce our first keynote speaker, Associate Professor Technologies, Dr. Nokhairul Izrin is an academician and researcher in the field of food science and nutrition at Universiti Malaysia Sabah. She obtained her bachelor's and master's degree from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia and her PhD from the University of Copenhagen in Denmark. Her research focuses on functional food ingredients, food flavor, and applied food innovation. Her research interests include protein hydrolysates from plant and animal sources, as well as plant and cereal bioactive compounds and their functional and health-related properties. She is experienced in extraction techniques, functional property evaluation, and the development of value-added food ingredients. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Associate Professor Technologies Dr. Noor Khairul Izrin for the keynote session entitled The Potential of Native Mushroom as Food Ingredients. The screen is yours, Doctor.
Thank you very much to Dr. Azlina as OMC for this morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning to all of the students present this morning and also to the distinguished colleagues and also all my friends. So maybe I can share a screen. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for the invitation as keynote speaker for this morning. And as a first keynote speaker, I can feel the pressure. All right, so today I would like to share a bit on my experience on the potential of native mushrooms, especially from Sabah, as food ingredients. So I'm from UMS and from the food science and nutrition programs. So a bit on what I'm going to present today, a bit of the outline here. So I would talk a bit on the food security as a national agenda 2021 to 2030 and the roles of Sabah native mushrooms as a local source for the food security, together with the biodiversity of Sabah mushrooms in food security and sustainability. And I will also share a bit about how we cultivate the mushroom using the species, the native species, and how we verify using DNA PCR, the method of verifications to obtain the right species. And again, I will just share a bit about the protein hydrolysates that we use from or that we extracted from this kind of species mushrooms and their potential as the functional ingredients. And also, interestingly, they are functioned as the flavor generation precursor for any food applications. And at the end, I will just share the possible functional application in the food system itself. So a bit on the national agenda. So Malaysian National Agro-Food Policy 2021-2030. So they identify mushroom as a key components of the high-value commodities. Besides mushrooms, mushrooms sit together with actually with the bird nest and also with the sting bee honey for the high-value commodity. So but then we have the challenge of the low visibility since mushroom since mushroom is not so they are like how to say, not so the people didn't realize that mushroom is so important, and then it has low visibility among the marketers in the market itself. Okay, and then we need the challenge of the automation cost is quite high. And also with the mushrooms, we see the case with the oyster mushrooms. So to produce mushrooms, if it is not centralized, we'll get the inconsistent supply. So with that, the solution would be, what we proposed was to have these smart farmings, and this was included in the national agenda. So how we can adapt technology, how we can use smart methods to produce or to cultivate mushroom itself, and to produce and to increase their productivity, because mushroom is actually a very very easy fungal to grow. Okay, the local advantage of this mushroom is itself is like the biodiversity hotspot. So mushroom is actually one of the native sources in Sabah. It is home to the exceptional indigenous fungal diversity with the untapped nutritional profiles, and then it's under-characterized. We have one institute that have been working with mushrooms extensively, and they found a lots of many other native mushrooms that very, very interesting to that contributes to the Sabah biodiversity. So they are actually under-characterized. We have lots of mushroom needs to be verified, needs to be researched into, and then some of them are edible. So they are edible local species. Sometimes they are consumed traditionally, but of course, with traditional, we lack scientific data, especially on the protein of mushrooms. So how can we use it for value-added opportunity? So moving from simple cultivation method, so how can we increase it to develop it into a high value functional ingredient? So that was our intention of using native mushrooms to promote or to produce the functional ingredients from the protein hydrolysate of mushroom. So relating to this, why mushrooms? So mushroom is actually the sustainable protein alternative. We know that mushrooms, the demand for proteins beside meat proteins are quite high, especially in Southeast Asia and of course globally. And then we in Malaysia nationally, we really depends on the import and export of protein sources. So it is very, very important for us to have our own protein alternative beside meats or beside animal source, to have this to support the demand for the protein. Okay, so protein from mushroom or mushroom itself, they have a very good 9 essential amino acid. It's rare in plant-based sources. So this amino acid includes lysine, leucine, and also methionine, which are important to us as essential amino acids. And then the mushroom itself, it has a short production cycles. So there's a potential for rapid scalability, and the cultivations, it require less land, water, and also compared to animal protein. So it is very good if we want to centralize the production or the cultivation of mushroom itself. So it's for decentralized rural production, so it can boost the economy as well. And this was proved this was proven with oyster mushroom. It has been cultivated all around Malaysia. So we need to like make a variations besides oyster. We need to have like more mushrooms, especially mushrooms that we know that they can contribute to the health. They have health benefits as well as they have like very good function for food ingredients. So it's added value, of course. And for the safety and circularity, the mushroom itself, it for the cultivations, it's utilize industrial agriculture waste as substrate. So we can say that we can have these clean cultivations. So because people are saying of save the planets right now, very concerned about the green environment. So we can say that we can have this clean cultivation for mushroom. So without fertilizer, without pesticide, that always raise concern among globally. So it is very sustainable. That is why mushroom is very sustainable protein alternative. So we want to we want to find another alternative as well besides animal proteins, and also we want to have variations of the mushrooms besides oyster and also shiitake mushrooms. So when we have this native, and we found this native species of mushroom, so we want to see the potential of this mushroom as food ingredients. So when we talk about this mushroom, actually, this is a very close up picture. If you want to see the Hericium erinaceus, also known as lion mans. So the picture is actually on the first page of my presentation slide. So actually this is the lion's mane or Hericium erinaceus, one of what they call as functional protein. It has high nutritional values. It has amino acid profile, balanced amino acid profile, and it's nutritional valuable protein source. And with the bioactivity, with the controlled hydrolysis extractions, it can release the peptide sequences with significant antioxidant properties compared to the like raw mushrooms. And then with the application, it has high solubility. So it is very ideal for functional beverages or any other health-oriented formulations if we want to. And the other species that's interesting would be the Letoporus sulphureus. So it's also known as chicken of the woods. Why chicken of the woods? Is because of the distinct meat-like texture. So this is a very interesting mushrooms, Letoporus. So they have this type of mushroom. It has this structural function advantage. We call it as texture architecture because it exhibits a distinct fibrous protein matrix that mimic muscle fibers, similar to animal proteins. The protein configuration supports excellent massifying binding properties. So, and then the application of this Letoporus, it has this natural savory flavor profile, and together with the fibrous texture, it makes a perfect candidate for the meat analog. Okay, what's beyond the whole food? Why we shift to hydrolysates compared to the raw mushrooms? It has been consumed, the raw mushrooms traditionally, and then with hot water extraction, meaning we boil it, we cook it, normal cooking method and so on. So why protein hydrolysate? Why we shift to protein hydrolysate? Okay, so this selected mushroom, we select this two mushroom because of the properties that I mentioned earlier. So it has this meatitase, it has high medicinal properties as well, which I'm not going to detail up about the medicinal or health benefits on this. And then when we use this hydrolysis process or the extraction process, we can break down the proteins, break down the sequence of the proteins. We can expose the functional peptide sequence inside the mushroom itself. So when we expose the functional peptides, so we get the what we call as bioactive peptides, which has a very good function to serve as functional ingredients. And then for the protein hydrolysates, rather than we grind into powder and so on, we use it as maybe like a normal powder added into the cooking. So we want to produce protein hydrolysate because we want to use it more in other applications, in other food products. So this protein hydrolysate with the certain hydrolysis process, with the optimized hydrolysis process, knowing that what we want at the end, we could improve the solubility. We could also improve the digestibility of the protein itself. So it can be used in other food products, not limited to only like added ingredients, like flavor enhancer, for example. Right, so that's why we want to shift the raw or crude mushroom protein to hydrolysate, mushroom protein hydrolysates. So we look into this protein hydrolysate as a whole. So I would like to share about the cultivation journey and also DNA verification. It's very brief slide on this only. Okay, so before we use it for protein to hydrolyze or to extract to make it into protein hydrolysate, like we want to make sure that we have the right species of these native proteins. Of course, when they went to collect those native species, they get it back, they bring it back, and then they isolate and cultivate it. So we want to make sure that the one that we cultivate are the right species, because sometimes we have this what we call as contamination. So different types of fungi arouse from the cultivation itself. So we have this, we established the provenance of sterile cultivation protocol. So this well-known protocol for mushroom cultivations, a general method with media preparations and to the pouring and also the inoculations of the mushroom. So here in this picture is actually, this is the inoculation of lentivirus. All right, so this standardized substrate preparation is to ensure consistent protein precursor before we do the extractions. And then afterwards, it's very long process, the cultivation, all those cultivation process of mushroom is very long process. We got a lots of contamination in the beginning because we cultivate on our own. And then it takes quite a long time for that, very challenging. So after we get the mushroom, then we have to like to ensure that it is the right species. So we use microscope, species verification via microscopy, and afterwards also we use DNA analysis to look at is it the right species, because we have the species, we have the bank to identify the DNA. All right, so species verifications, we look at the hyphae structure analysis, because when we talk about mushroom, it's about the hyphae structure. It has complex hyphae structure. Some mushroom, they have like very complex, especially lentivirus, very complex hyphae structure compared to hericium. So then we go into this, we verify it using DNA analysis. So how we do that? So sample verification only use PCR and also gel electrophoresis. So DNA extraction and PCR digestion, followed by agarose gel electrophoresis, confirm the species identity prior to the hydrolysis. And it's a good quality control steps to ensure that the subsequent physicochemical data is attributed by the correct fungal strains. All right, then afterwards, we move to the next stage where we want to have the extraction or to optimize the extraction. So this is where the science of protein hydrolysis. So the whole mushrooms itself. So this is actually the figure, like the protein itself. Very complex globular tertiary structure of protein, helix, alpha helix, and so on. So what happened with the protein? When we hydrolyze the protein, or when we do the extractions of this protein, we cut off lots of the protein structure into peptides. Peptides, of course, we have many ratios of heavy or big molecular peptides or small molecular peptides. So it's a combination of both big and small molecular size of peptides. So the enzyme so the hydrolysis can use enzyme, which is common, proteases, and also people nowadays also add green extractions. So here we use ultrasound for to assist with the enzyme hydrolysis. So it doesn't matter how we hydrolyze the protein, but the gist is that we want to break down the protein structure into small peptides. And of course, it's a combination of big molecular size peptides, small molecular size of peptides, and also the free amino acids. So why we do this? Because we want to have this solubility where it can break down the structure for better digestibility. We want to have this flavor because mushroom has a good flavor, umami flavor, kokumi flavor. So this is a new term of flavor, kokumi beside umami. And then we look into this later on at last part of my presentations. And also it can release the flavor. Besides releasing the flavor, we have this bioactivity at the same time, since it exposes the functional peptide sequences. So this is what we want. We want to have a balanced flavor, bioactivity, and also the functional properties of the protein hydrolysis. Because towards the end, we want to have this protein to be added or to be used as food ingredients in many applications. So we look into this methodology comparison between conventional extraction that has been used for a long past for the previous time. So conventional hydrolysis, and now we move into the green extraction. 10 years, maybe I think almost 10 years previous. We move into this green extraction method. So the conventional hydrolysis and also the green extraction method. For example, here the enzyme-assisted ultrasound. So conventional hydrolysis, it has quite disadvantages. It has high extraction temperature. It takes longer extraction time. It uses harsh extraction chemicals. This why we didn't use conventional hydrolysis, because we also want to conserve the flavor of the mushrooms. So high extraction temperature is we cannot jeopardize the mushroom with high extraction temperature. So with longer extraction time is not feasible, because it takes lots of time. And then with this conventional hydrolysis, what we got from the protein is what we call as aggregated proteins with low functionality. So those are the picture of aggregated proteins. And then when we switch to enzyme-assisted ultrasound, meaning we combine ultrasound with enzyme for the extraction, we eventually get the low extraction temperature. We managed to hydrolyze using short extraction time, and the higher also increase. So here the green extraction, we can preserve the protein structure. So when we preserve the protein structure, it has high functionality of protein. So proteins with high functionality. So switching to ultrasound reduce energy consumption while preventing the protein aggregations. So that's the difference between conventional and the green extraction. So of course, there's many other advantage, many other disadvantage that we can talk about. But I think I will just stick with this first. So, introducing the protein hydrolysis. So, more or less, this is our workflow. So, the raw or the crude mushrooms, we use the powdered one, okay, and then we hydrolyze it using ultrasound first, and then we move to enzyme hydrolysis, and in this case we use several enzymes, but here today we just focus on one enzyme, which is papain, and then we centrifuge, free dry, and so on. At the end, this is what we got. The mushroom protein hydrolysis after freeze dry. Of course, it's in a powder form. All right. So why we want to control? I think I mentioned this early on. We want to control the protein hydrolysis. The protein hydrolysis. We do not want it to skew more like very superior functionality, because we focus also on the sensory quality, meaning the flavor profile. So functionality, if we increase the hydrolysis, it can enhance the solubility, of course, and it's might be more stable. So we can get maybe good functional properties of the protein hydrolysis. But when we look into the sensory quality, we do not want too excessive breakdown of the protein, because and also we do not want to have a long extraction and also high temperature, because it would form, or it would generate the bitterness, and we do not and also the texture degradation, especially for lentiferous is very fragile, I can say. So if we over hydrolyze the lentiferous, it becomes destroyed. So we have to take care of that particular parameter as well. So we try to balance up the experiment or the extraction to get function, to get sensory quality as well. Right. So of course, the degree of hydrolysis determine peptide bond cleavage and also the structural changes, and also the optimization can balance functionality with the palatability. Palatability is the sensory quality, of course. All right. So when we talk about the functionality of proteins, protein hydrolysis, we want to see the physicochemical, what's their physicochemical and also functional properties. So the very basic physicochemical properties are the degree of hydrolysis, where the degree of hydrolysis will reflect the extent of protein breakdown. So it acts as the primary indicator of structural modification. So it works on the structure. And we also want, another physical chemical properties that's important is molecular weight distribution, the peptide size. Remember, I mentioned that although we extract, we hydrolyze, we cut, we break the structure, protein structure, it's still that we get various size of peptides, big size, maybe small size, and how small, how big. So distribution of peptide size, it can dictate the solubility. It also can dictate the surface activity and the ability to stabilize interfaces. So this is very important for the food application as well. So another properties is we want to look at the secondary structure of proteins. So alterations in alpha helix and beta sheet can affect the molecular flexibility and also the overall functional performance. So those are quite key physicochemical properties that's important. And another functional properties relevant to put that is important, that are important emulsifying activity, where what is emulsifying activity is the ability to absorb at oil-water interfaces and also to maintain stable emulsion over time. And we look, the forming capacity is also important, where it's the forming capacity is the ability to entrap the air and maintain structural integrity in aerated systems. Holding capacity is also important. So because it influences the moisture retention, fat binding, and so texture in the formulated food products. So it will give us an idea, or we can predict what kind of food system that can be used for our ingredients. So from this data to food application, so here, when we know the molecular matrix of the protein hydrolysate, the peptide size, the degree of hydrolysis, the structure itself, so it can predict, it can connect the experimental finding with the practical formulations. And then with the formulation, we can determine the behavior in the real product system. And with that, we can have this reliable functionality and drives the industry applications. So here are the commercial products that we can look into our sources, maybe beverages, and of course the meat analogs. Okay, and then we try to look into how to optimize mushroom protein hydrolysates by using ultrasounds first and enzymatic seconds. And we look into the synergy for this combined effect, this single effect. So this would be a comparative analysis. It's not directly comparable. It's like relatively comparable. The physical-chemical changes and also the functional bioactivity in two types of mushroom species, lentiferous and also hericiums. So what we used raw mushrooms or crude mushrooms without any treatments. We also use ultrasound only, where we hydrolyze using only ultrasounds, relying on cavitation and also physical disruption. We also use another sample with treatment, different treatment mode with enzymatic only with the enzyme. Hydrolysis using papain to mainly to cleave the peptide bonds. And the fourth sample would be the combined effect, combined ultrasound and papain treatment for the and to see the dual action if they can work in synergistic. Okay, if they have this dual action breakdown. Okay, so what we want to break besides protein? Before that, we need to break down the cell wall of the mushrooms. So lentiferous sulfurous possess a complex cell wall structure compared to hericiums. But once we break down the cell wall, it becomes very, very fragile. Okay, so the presence of thick wall skeletal hyphae, it creates a physical barrier that requires significant processing to reach the protein inside, to unlock the protein bioavailability inside of the mushroom itself, cell wall itself, cell itself. Right. So this is the picture. This is not ours. I took it from a journal, past journal, so I forgot to mention it here. I forgot the name of the journal as well. But this shows a very good hyphae structure of lentiferous, and then this is more or less the diagram of the hyphae. It's very complicated here in haywire. So skeletal hyphae with the thick wall and the generative hyphae with the thin wall. So it's a combination of a thin wall and also thick wall that creates the cell, the mushroom itself. All right, so these are our final products, one with hericium and another with lentiferous. So we can see here that hericium is more like more rigid, more crumpy, but this lentiferous is more fragile, it's softer. It's like a cotton. We can see this. We can say that the structure itself is like a cotton, and it's quite hard to handle actually. So these are the freeze-dried isolate of the protein hydrolysate that we obtain. Okay, when we look into the analysis, we just go through the analysis. The pH analysis, they shows the different pattern. So for hericium erinaceus, naturally maintain a higher pH compared to lentiferous. So hericium with 5 more or less throughout the four different treatments, more or less 5 pH. And lentiporous, it stay at more acidic environment with pH 4, but they are stable. The stability of pH across treatments suggests that functional changes are driven by structure modification and not just the acidity environment. And these are the first difference that we managed to obtain. And then when we did the FTIR analysis, we just compare the mushroom with the papain, with the ultrasound only, and the combined effect. We have this amide 1 and 2 bands showing the significant secondary structure unfolding. So FTIR analysis confirmed that the combined effect ultrasound and papain treatment induced the most significant structure transition compared to I can say control, the crude one. All right, then we move on to the degree of hydrolysis. So lentiporous, based on this pattern, you can see the blue line is lentiporous, the orange line is actually hericium. So they are like opposite with each other. Lentiporous is highly responsive to physical destruction, where the mushroom with ultrasound hydrolysis showing a massive increase in hydrolysis with the ultrasound. Meanwhile, the hericium shows resistant at the same point with the ultrasound hydrolysis. Actually, they reduce the hydrolysis efficiency, and they of course they are really opposite with each other across the different treatments. Okay, when we look into the emulsifying properties of the hericium itself, mushroom with ultrasound hydrolysis give us the best performance in terms of emulsifying index for hericium. And eventually the lowest emulsifying property is quite very low at the combined effect. So physical disruption via ultrasound, it creates smaller particle size, drastically improving surface area, and also the emulsifying activity for hericium. However, the combined effect enzyme with ultrasound destroy this property. So this is the impact of ultrasound on hericium. But then when we look into the lentiporous has a very weak emulsifying properties. Okay, the values are very much lower than if we relatively compare with hericium. So ultrasound treatment yield still, if we compare across the treatment, ultrasound treatment yield the highest values of emulsifying EAI. Right, and then of course similar trend with hericium, the combined effect has the lowest EAI analysis. So similar pattern, but with much lower values between hericium compared to lentiporous. And then if you look into the water holding capacity, we have this significant yield increase for lentiporous. Lentiporous has a very good yield across the treatments, as well as when we compare with the hericium. It's like almost double or triple if we compare double or triple yield that lentiporous got compared to the hericium. So if we compare among treatments, between treatments, the combined effect treatment nearly double the water holding capacity for lentiporous. The blue one is lentiporous, the orange one, the orange bar indicates hericium. So they have, of course, different pattern as well, with different values or different yield properties. All right, so here is the antioxidant activity, we just managed to get the scavenging activity. We run DPPH as well as ABTS. So here is for lentivirus. So lentivirus indicates a clear positive correlation between treatment complex and also antioxidant activity, meaning that the combined effect is actually good to break down, to expose the functional properties of lentivirus sulfurease. Okay, so steady increase as expected. Okay, so for lentivirus, the most aggressive treatment protocol, which the combined effect delivers the highest statistical return compared to the crude and also the other treatments mode. But it's not the same with the hericium. So hericium, it actually display peak and plateau response. So unlike lentivirus, this species reach the optimal state earlier in the processing, meaning that the good antioxidant activity or the scavenging activity obtained from the hydrolysis with the enzyme only, not with the combined effect and not with the ultrasound. So the combined effect is actually it actually degrade or it overhydrolyze as the function, as we cannot determine the DPPH the scavenging activity when we determine using DPPH as well as ABTS. All right, so if we compare between lentivirus and hericium, so lentivirus is actually good when we use the combined effect for the hydrolysis, 78%. But then for the hericium, they are best when we hydrolyze using enzyme only. But this only applied for if you want to see the radical scavenging activity using DPPH and also ABTS. So it doesn't reflect the other functional properties and also the physicochemical properties. As well as later on, you see the flavor properties, it doesn't reflect that. Okay, so for recommended processing method for the lentivirus and hericium, the protocol selection would be a combined effect to expect higher yield for the antioxidant activity on for the radical scavenging activity only. And then for the hericium, the best would be hydrolyzed using only enzyme with the efficiency of almost like 73% with the expected yield. All right. So adopting species-specific protocol, it can ensure maximum biological activity while we can optimize the resource allocations. So the synergetic advantage would be structural modification, combined effect would be best, hydrolysis efficiency, ultrasound only or combined effect would be best. Water holding capacity, combined effect, antioxidant power, it depends on the species, of course, combined effect or the enzyme. Then also for the emulsifying properties, the hericium, good with ultrasound and also with the combined effect. So they have different, while ultrasound excel at physical dispersion, the combined MU protocol offers the most comprehensive enhancement of functional and also the bioactive properties. Okay, so that we look that with the physicochemical, the functional properties. Now we look into very interesting chemosensory potential of mushroom hydrolysis when we bridge the gap between biological system and also the savory flavor reconstruction. So more or less, mushrooms are like a nature chemical factories. They are complex biological system, not only just ingredients. So by leverage the enzymatic hydrolysis, we reconstruct the savory profile without the synthetic additive. So this is what we want from mushroom. Enzymatic hydrolysis, reconstruction, create the savory flavor. So for the umami anchors, umami kokumi, so we need the amino acid. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Ay,
So
kenapa?
Panggil saya. So the umami anchors is actually amino acid, glutamate, and also organic acid. So this is one of the example of a mushroom that has good umami, good kokumi. So primary driver is high concentration of free amino acid, chemically predisposed mushroom to the savory profile. Secondary drivers would be the aspartic acid that reinforce the savory taste together with the organic acid, and which add to the complexity of the flavor profile. So here glutamate can be found up to like 2,987 milligram glutamate per 100 gram in this kind of mushroom agaricus bisporus. So synergic potentials, umami multiplier. When we use mushroom creates the umami multiplier. They act as an umami multiplier. So with the carboxylic acid, with the amino acid glutamate together with the nucleotide is disodium nucleotide IMP, GMP, disodium inositate. GMP is disodium glutamate, right? So we call them as 5 nucleotides, right? So they increase the umami intensity. Glutamate is glutamate, but when we have this nucleotide, it add more function, more umami taste to the product. So they have to be together. Okay, because the effect of glutamate only is not really give the kick. It might when nucleotide comes in, it gives the synergistic potential. All right, so they exponentially increase the umami intensity. So actually, what are the mushrooms that have high nucleotides? Lactarius camphoratus, several mushrooms, porcini or Boletus edulis, and also shiitake. So those are mushrooms that have been researched into that contain high amount of nucleotides, 5 nucleotides, I must say. So the aroma signature of the mushroom is the mushroom flavor itself. So the mushroom flavor itself contributes by the what we call as the mushroom alcohol, which is 1-octane triol. It provides a specific flavor profile, earth, fungal, raw. Okay, it can be found in agaricus and also in oyster mushroom. The other compounds or the other volatile profile would be sulfur compounds. So sulfur compounds, for example, dimethyl sulfide, it provides the meaty taste of the mushroom, the pungent, the savory, which are the key drivers in truffle mushroom and also shiitake mushroom. And pyrazine, actually, the volatile from pyrazine, actually from the process itself, from the cooking, from the processing of hydrolysate, for example, because they need heat. So the profile, flavor profile contributes by pyrazine would be roasted, nutty, caramelized. So generated during drying, during thermal processing. So those are the 3 important volatile profile for the mushroom itself. And for that, we need also the Maillard connection, where it can generate the meaty volatiles. So hydrolysis, when we have this hydrolysis extraction, we prepare the chemical stage. It provides the precursor because we heat it, not overheat, but still we have the thermal reactions. We react to form distinct meaty flavors. So we have this meaty and roasted note due to the thermal processing and also because of the Maillard reaction. All right. So, for example of the species profile would be this porcini. Usually, it's very widely used. It gives us the nutty meaty complex, high nucleotides, high mushroom alcohol, and high pyrazine. How about shiitake? Shiitake, the dominant flavor will be deep umami with the sulfurous depth. So the compound inside would be lethionine, which has this cyclic sulfur. And also they are high in GMP, the disodium, the 5 nucleotides just now. So those are the species profile, the species that's contributes to the 5 nucleotides amount in the product. And truffles, they have sulfur volatiles. And lastly, the lentiferous that we look into, it has this meat-like fibrous texture, and they have this mild savory profile. So good with alternative protein texture. So those are the chemical reference architecture where the compound, what's the molecule contributes by the compound as the flavor form from the compounds. So we have this umami base, we have this fungal, earthy, meaty, roasted, contributed by different classes of compound due to the free amino acids, the presence of free amino acid, nucleotides, alcohol, sulfur, and also Maillard products. So those are why we want this dual sensory mechanism, the hydrolysis multiplier, and the Maillard potential of the protein hydrolysate. We want to create the balanced functional properties of protein hydrolysates together with the good profile, flavor profile of the hydrolysates. So functional application in food system, of course, with the clean label solution, where we can replace the synthetic enhancer like MSG with natural mushroom hydrolysate. And we can boost the depth in broth, sauces, and soups because of the 5 nucleotides just now. And also it creates a very good alternative proteins where it can provide the meaty sensory cues in plant-based product without animal ingredients. So contribution to food security, of course, to improve protein utilization, to optimize mushroom protein, to enhance efficiency, functional performance, and to maximize resource use. For local ingredient development, where we can develop mushroom-based functional ingredients, where we can support domestic production capacity, increase economy, reduce vulnerability, where we can strengthen local protein system, and we can decrease reliance on imported raw materials and global supply shocks. So this is a contribution to food security. So at the end, what's the key take-home message that I want to highlight for today? It's like, well, our asset is the native mushroom, which are strategic protein resources, indigenous species, sustainable, underutilized, ready to be exploited. We want to unlock protein hydrolysate function. Is the process of control hydrolysis, where we transform this raw protein into high performance functional ingredients. At the end, Sabah offers unique innovation frontier, leverage high biodiversity, agricultural potential. Sabah is uniquely positioned to lead this sustainable mushroom innovation. So with that, thank you very much. I would like to express my gratitude to my team member, my PhD students, to the Dr. Tajri, and also to the funders, KPT, and also EMS. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Izrin, for that insightful sharing. I think this one is a very important sharing that we know the importance of this underrated mushroom. So now I would like to invite any questions from the floor. You can unmute your device and then ask your question, or alternately, you can type in your question in the chat box. So I think, Dr. Izrin, while waiting for the question, I do have one question for you. I'm interested about your enzyme extraction. So is there any residual problem encountered during the protein extraction using enzyme?
Of course, the residual. So we just manage, we have to like still optimize and then manage to reduce whatever residual that we obtain. So that's why I said we need to have this balanced one. Our focus would be the flavor profile, then with the functional properties. So to reduce the residual, how to say, we that's why we try to get the pure sample as possible, especially when we use the right species, and also during extraction, we have to like control the extraction. But so far, it's not a big problem because eventually we managed to get good results as predicted. Of course, some of it is not predicted as well. But when we focus on the flavor profile, the nucleotides, it gives us a very good pattern as well. So because I didn't share it here because I don't have time for that. It's very, very interesting actually. And of course, we have the residual, but it's not a big problem for us since we control the what we call the extraction process. So I think it manageable.
Right, thank you, Dr. Izrin. I think we have another question from, okay, UMT first. Will you isolate the glutamate and nucleotide compounds from mushroom?
Wait, tadi. Isolate? No, you don't have. Maybe sometimes later because right now we did we use the protein hydrolysate itself to isolate it. It's very it's quite hard to isolate the nucleotides. Nucleotide itself, to get the pure compound is very hard. So at the end, we just make do with this protein hydrolysate because then we get the functional properties as well as we get the flavor profile. If we isolate, then we only because mushroom is like it's native, it's highly valuable. So if we isolate using this native mushroom, it gives us like dia macam kita look down on this mushroom, you know. Kita dah buang all those properties. Kalau kita isolate all those properties tu, kita terpaksa kita have to throw it out. We have to like sacrifice on that. So I think in practicality, we stay with the protein hydrolysate. We can still improve the flavor of the products as flavor enhancer. At the same time, we can use in the products because it has the emulsifying ability. So it can be in powder form, it can be in emulsion form as well. So they have like quite they have more advantages on that rather than if we isolate. So for the moment, we do not plan to isolate it because we do not want to sacrifice the other properties.
Hello, Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam. Banyak ni soalan.
Thank you for a very, very interesting talk today. I just want to know, we have a lot species of the mushroom that I want to ask if you come across that for the edible mushroom, which types of the species that can contain high umami flavor?
Ini actually I present lah today, this morning kan. But we have published on that actually about the nucleotides. Because when I mentioned about nucleotides, dia adalah enhancer for the glutamate. For nucleotides actually, hericium and also lentivirus. Hericium dia lagi bagus. Walaupun when we look at the yield of hericium compared to lentivirus is almost double. But actually, when we look into the nucleotides itself, the amount of nucleotide in hericium is actually quite high. It's like double the amount volume of lentivirus, which very interesting. And also treatments also play a very important role because the treatments of this combined effect give a very high nucleotides amount of nucleotides. So So it's very, so Harrison is actually good. Bila kita nak tengok, nak balance tu kan, letterpress ni okay sebenarnya. Tapi dia sangat fragile. So that's the what we call letterpress is quite hard to handle, or quite challenging to be extracted and produce protein hydrolase reset compared to Harrison. Harrison ni dia lagi senang untuk kita exploit dia. And eventually the amount of nucleotides pun sangat tinggi compared to letterpress. So I must say that we should look into Harrison more. And letterpress has different properties as well. We will look into that maybe much later. So hopefully I answer your questions.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I think Dr. Izrin, another question from the chat box from UPM. Okay, Assalamualaikum, Prof. Mushroom-based products can sometimes trigger allergic reaction. So, can I have your view on this issue?
Yeah, boleh. Yes, of course. This is not for allergic person. Because saya tak tengok dia punya allergenicity lah. Of course, sebenarnya for this extraction, we can reduce the allergenicity of what we call of these mushrooms, because kita break down all those proteins, turn it into something else kan. So the protein identifications to react with the allergens tu dia memang boleh reduce lah, but we didn't look into that yet lah. We'll look into that much later, because now we will focus on how how the Harrison also or letterpress can contributes to the flavor profile first. But of course, mushroom ni memang ada allergen lah. I won't say no on this lah. So kita admit saja. But this is like kena ada label not for allergen people.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Idrin. I think due to time constraint, we will limit the question up to that question. And then in the meantime, maybe Dr. Idrin can answer all the question in the chat box. Okay, thank you
All right.
again,
Thank you
Dr.
very
Khairul
much.
Idrin, for your sharing. Now we have come to the end of the first keynote session, and we will be having a short break for 10 minutes, and the session will resume at 10 a.m. So kindly ensure that you rejoin the WebEx session on time so that we can proceed smoothly with the parallel presentation. And in the meantime, participants may scan the QR code displayed on the screen, whereas the feedback QR code will be shared at the end of the closing ceremony on day 2 of this event. Upon completing the feedback form, you will receive an automated certificate of participation for FOSTUC 2026. Thank you, and we will see you again shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now continue with the concurrent presentation session. I would like to invite all to join the breakout rooms. To join the breakout room, please click on the horizontal dot icon and select Join Breakout Session. If you wish to leave the breakout session, you may click the red box arrow and then click the Leave Session. The four presenters, please ensure that your slides are ready and that you adhere strictly to the allocated presentation time. Judges and session moderators, thank you for your presence and commitment. So without further delay, we will now begin the parallel session. Thank you and all the best to our presenters. You all now may join the breakout room.
Hello there, Miss Azlina. Dr. Azlina, I cannot
Yes.
find where is the to join the breakout room.
Okay, if you see the button that show like four square, are you
Yeah, next to
using
the
the
the palang,
software
right?
or
Sorry, I'm
are you
using laptop.
using?
Yeah.
Begini participants.
Can you see on the bottom of your, I think next to the raised hand,
Okay,
Panel.
next to the raise hand, erection.
Next to the
Raise
X.
hand.
Yeah, do you see
Mana
the
Dr. Khairi?
button?
Next to the X. Sebelah X tu ada 3 titik tu.
Okay, alright. But
Klik
it's
3
not
titik
appear
tu.
here lah.
Ha?
Dia ada copy meeting link, whiteboard, step away, statistic.
Aish. Sepatutnya ada 3 titik tu je. Cari yang 3 titik tu. Dr. Farid.
Or
I punya
alternatively, can you click on the participant panel? And
Sorry,
then
come
on
again?
top, participant panel. Okay, and then can you take a breakout session on top of it? Yeah, participant panel.
Sorry, doctor. I also cannot find where is the
Ah.
link for backup.
Tak ada link lah, tak keluar kat sini. I'm using the apps. I'm using the ni.
I also using the laptop, but I couldn't find where is the link for the backup room.
Bukan
Doktor
saya
pergi
sebenarnya.
dekat participant punya panel, atas
Participant.
sekali session have started. Boleh choose. Klik kat participant.
Participant.
Open
Okay.
participant
Okay.
panel.
Okay.
Aras saya.
Okay. I
Aras
Yeah.
saya,
see.
aras saya. Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Cik dah tua.
Okay.
Okay, alright. Okay, where is it? Breakout session 1, yeah. Rasa. Is it breakout session 1? No.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to the respected professor, doctors, and the all
Start kan?
students. Welcome back to the 4th Food Science and Technology Undergraduate Colloquium 2026. My name is Ali Anzan from Universiti Malaysia Terengganu. It is my great pleasure to introduce our second keynote speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Khairi Muhammad Zainal from the Faculty of Food Science and Agrotechnology, Universiti Malaysia Terengganu. Dr. Khairi graduated with a Bachelor of Food Science and Technology and a Master of Science from Universiti Putra Malaysia. He earned his PhD from University of Nottingham, United Kingdom. His research journey began in food analysis, where he developed strong analytical expertise that continues to support his scientific work today. His research focuses on the utilization of natural antioxidants and understanding protein interactions in food system. His work involves the extraction, characterization, and quantification of bioactive compounds. He has also developed a strong interest in ultrasonic spray drying technologies and innovative low temperature technique for extracting antioxidant without organic solvents. Today, Dr. Khairi will deliver the keynote entitled Fathoming the Possibilities of Producing Encapsulated Drinks. This topic highlights exciting advancement in functional food development and innovative processing technologies that are shaping the future of our field. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Khairi Muhammad Zainal. Dr. Khairi, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Alia. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin by praising Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Alhamdulillah, all praise belong to Allah that have give us the sustenance to our life and also give us the chance to still breathing His air and having our meeting today. Okay. Again, I would like to thank the organizing committee for giving me the chance to express a little bit regarding these ideas of producing encapsulated drinks. Okay, I'm trying to actually play the PowerPoint. but I can't do two work at the same time. So bear with me. Okay. I hope that everybody can see the slides. Okay. And this is a very good time for speaking as a noon time. It's a good time to go to sleep. So don't worry, everybody, that all the audience can go to sleep except for me. Okay, because I have to do the talking. So thank you very much again. I would like to present today a little bit of the idea regarding understanding or fathoming the possibilities of producing encapsulated drinks or fruit juice. Oh, taking picture without me. So if we ask ourselves, which one do we prefer? Do we prefer the natural yet time-consuming, good taste of natural product, or highly convenient, fast-producing instant product? Okay. Do we want the freshly squeezed juice, or we want the instant juice? Okay. Take the orange, squeeze it, or use the machine, or take a tablet Tang. I think one of the famous brand back then was Tang, Tang, T-A-N-G. Okay, they call it Tang. It's supposed to be Tang. Or freshly brewed coffee. Okay, taste the aroma. Or just instant coffee like Nescafe, either classic or gold or Nescafe Casa. And tea. Do we like 3-in-1 tea, just like the shampoo, or the real tea, the one that we have to brew, not in sachet, not in tea bags, but the real tea we brew in hot boiling water? Which one is it? Which one do we prefer? Okay. And along the time, not the evolution, the assimilation. So this preference actually changes. Okay? So why does it change? Why do we need something new? Or why do we need it to be a little bit different compared to the one that we have before? Okay. Or what actually influence our preferences? Okay. Is it the aroma itself? We still stuck with the aroma, the original aroma. Okay. For example, the brewed coffee compared to the instant coffee, the aroma are totally different. The freshness of the fruit juice or the tanginess of the tang, the authenticity of the tea, okay, and also the experience. They say that homemade is better than factory made. It's up to the individual itself. Okay, we do have our preferences, and we don't. I think everybody knows why. Okay? So these beverages actually have evolved from back then what we call as traditional, freshly prepared drinks to highly convenient instant system. Okay, just like the chili sauce. Back then, everything are manual, everything are being made from scratch. But nowadays, everything are in packet. Okay, just open. The skill that we need to know is how to tear the packet up, tear the packet down. Just that. and then pour it out. The second is we have some new techniques, all but new techniques that makes all this changing from liquid to solid and back to liquid a possibility. Okay, techniques such as spray dry, drum dry, freeze dry, emotion that actually changes the properties of the product itself or the drink itself. Okay, what does it do? Okay, that's later in the presentation, so stay tuned. But when we do this processing, the cost actually arise. Okay, that's why when we buy a fish, a fresh fish and a dried fish, the same weight, but the price are different. Okay, the tastes are also different. Normally the cheap one or the fresh is cheaper, but when we process it, it becomes more expensive. Okay. Okay. So this is the statement that I've written down here. Today the challenge is no longer just convenience. Okay. Back then, yes, convenience. When we talk about food tech, we want the food to be available at any time. Okay, we produce it today and we will able to eat it in 2 years' time. That is one of the purpose of food technology. But nowadays, we are not just talking about this convenience. Easy to use, easy to cook, easy to eat. We also want to have the experience similar to what we have when we consume the fresh product. So we need to have something that can mimic this process, mimic this sensation. Okay? And this is actually really hard to achieve. Okay? Most of the time, it's being achieved by perception. Okay, by perception. Okay, hire an influencer, and then let them mimic the taste. Okay, we can't taste the taste, isn't it? When we see somebody eating something, we can't taste the taste, but they will do something of their expression to make sure that we can taste the taste, like making the sound of or making a whispering noise, isn't it? For example, when we hear that, we know it's Ramadan. So it's not just about conveniences now, it's also about delivering. Okay, we want it to be fresh. Okay, feel like fresh, even though it's not fresh. And we want it to be containing a lot of this bioactive compound. Okay, so can make us healthier or can sustain our healthiness. Not just we want it to be fresh like sensory, but we want it to be oops, sorry, my slide, I make a problem here. There are 4 here, but I'm not 2 like this. These are only 2. Okay, so I mentioned here sensory and also the functional properties lah, or the functional food, just like what Dr. Ali mentioned just now. Okay, so we want it to be fresh, but we want it to stay fresh longer. That's where this encapsulation process came about. Okay. We can produce this product and then we can put it inside something. When we consume it, it will feel like it's just being peeled out of its natural skin. Okay, that's encapsulation. We actually put something inside of this encapsulate. Okay, imagine Nescafe. Okay, I have to mention the name, even though it's instant coffee. Nescafe is actually water or the coffee inside maltodextrin. So the maltodextrin is the encapsulating agent. Or the malt drink or Milo, for example. We have different sugars that actually encapsulate the cocoa and the malt inside. Okay? Those are simple example of encapsulating process. Okay? So this is also one of the statement. Encapsulation or encapsulated drink is aimed to bridge the gap between real and instant. Okay. Some people nowadays, I think I've met a lot of my friends that's like this. They do prefer Nescafe compared to real coffee. They say have more oomph. Okay. And also the combining stability with freshness, it more stable. It is more stable. Okay. Assigned with sensory pleasure and functionality with innovation. So we can actually manipulate the taste. We can actually keep it for a longer period of time. Okay, that's why encapsulation can take place in this product processing. Okay. So if we look at from history until now and maybe a little bit to the future, so back then everybody will taste the product as fresh as possible. Okay, just like the ice, not the ice cream. In Malay they call it ice kepal, where we get the ice. It's being shredded using the machine and then put it on their hand or on our own hand, and then the hawker will put some syrup and also condensed milk, and then we will not chew on it. We will just suck on it until the sweetness has been all sucked up, and then we will throw away the ice. That is one of the processing, the fresh processing, and we put it on our hand, and we last only maybe about 5 minutes. Okay, back then. Then we want to make sure that everything are better than that. We have some packaging material, so we can put our product in the packaging material. We put the fruit juice in glass. We put the fruit juice in some types of container. Okay, but the fruit juice itself won't last long. Okay, we can't just put it in a cup, put it in a glass, and then leave it there, and then in 2 days' time we come in and reconsume it. Okay, that will not be possible even then. It's back then. So we found out that stability is the problem there. So what they did was they changed the appearance of it. They put it inside a capsule. Okay, so when it's inside the capsule, it will actually last longer. The simple example for this one is you see the cod oil, COD, fish oil. Okay, they put it inside a capsule, isn't it? That will last longer. Okay, a simple example. But nowadays we are changing that from cod oil, from oil, we are going to use fruit juice and then encapsulate it, and hopefully it will last longer, so we can actually experience it even though we don't have the fruit, the real fruit. We still can consume this product at some point. Okay. When we manage to actually put it inside an encapsulation agent, we want to know whether it tastes good or not. So there's the sensory science comes in. Okay, so yes, the process of encapsulation is a success, but we don't know about the taste, and also we don't know about the prolonged shelf of life. Okay, this is the sustainability and innovation. But when we have this evolution, we still need to go for expectation, because this is food. Yeah, beverage, food, and it's intent for human being, and human being are a creature that is hard to please. Okay, not everybody will have the same opinion. Okay, so these are the expectations that we need to fulfill. Okay, first one is the health. The new product, can it promote our health, better health? Is it stable? Okay, can we keep it for a long period of time? Does it have any functional properties? When we eat it, will it sustain my health or give me more of something? Okay, like antioxidant or anti something. What about other function? Can it make me stronger? Okay, like energy drink. And finally, this is the one that actually the experience. This is the one that actually being marketed actually. Okay, somebody have eaten it, somebody have experienced it, and they will mimic the experience to other people. Okay, for the promotion purposes. Okay, because just like the sugar. Okay, if that somebody have never tasted sugar, he cannot or she cannot describe what the sugar tastes like. When they say it's sweet like sugar, what do you mean sweet like sugar? Yeah, sugar. If somebody have never tasted sugar, he or she will believe what the person who have tasted it before who mentioned that it's good taste. Okay, these are the things that we need to experience ourselves or mimic other people's experience. Okay, so what are the challenges regarding producing these encapsulated beverages or encapsulated drink? Because just like Dr. Alia mentioned just now, one of my research regarding antioxidant, so I'm choosing this topic. Yeah. So the bioinstability of this liquid or of this juice. Okay, when it's fresh, it contains a lot of antioxidant compound. But when we process it, when we put it inside a capsule, what happens to the product? Those are the signs that I'm looking for actually. Okay? But don't worry, I will not bore anybody here regarding those technique or those results. So this is the encapsulation in cartoon mode. Okay, so we have the water here, water, and then that water will be encapsulated inside a bubble. Okay, so when we see a particle of Milo or Nescafe, actually it's the coffee or the Milo inside sugar or the encapsulating agent in this case. Okay. So this encapsulating agent, they were supposed to be able to protect the liquid inside against normal low humidity condition. Okay, so they need to be kept inside a container. If they are not in the container, normally what happens is they have these hygroscopic properties. They will absorb the moisture from the environment, and then they will clog. Okay, I think most of us have experienced that. But they do need to be able to stay in their powder form, okay, in that certain condition. But another properties that they need to have is when we put it inside water, they should be fully dissolved. Okay, and most of the time, these are for hot water or boiling water. Okay, we cannot make a case if we put them inside icy water or room temperature water. Okay? Maybe it takes more than 1 day, 10 minutes, more than that for them to fully dilute. Yeah, what about formula milk? Susu bayi. The same thing. It's also milk in liquid form is being encapsulated inside an encapsulating agent. Okay, so let's move on. Natalia, how much time do I have?
About 50 minutes more, Doctor.
15. 15.
50, no, 15. 15.
15.
If include the Q&A session or you want to shorten?
Okay. So hopefully we can make it. So these are the types of encapsulating or encapsulation technique. The first one is freeze dry. Okay. I should put in the first one is not freeze dry. The first one is spray dry. Okay. And then we have freeze dry, drum dry, coating, the one that I think at the end of this talk, I will show some of my result for this coating technique. Okay, and these are the products lah, most of the product that we have. Okay, for freeze dry, it's not Nescafe Classic, it's Nescafe Gold, or back then it's called Nescafe Castle. Nowadays it's Nescafe Gold. For drum dry is this lah, malt chocolate. So this is the simplest technique, or one of the oldest technique. Okay, the drying, the powder system, where we produce it and then it will be formed into powder. Okay, tepung. The first one is the spray dry, where you use high temperature, quite high temperature, 200 something. But we also have the alternative of using ultrasonic spray drying technique, where it uses a little bit lower temperature in order to produce, to nebulize the liquid, okay? And then coat it with the encapsulating agent. Okay. Nescafe is the common product example for using this technique, and also formula milk or milk powder. Okay. They use this technique. Then the second one is freeze drying technique. Okay. This one is a bit expensive. It's a bit more expensive than spray drying. Okay. But one Malaysian did make some money using this technique. Okay. He sells in Terengganu, say this product is called chambah, or in Malay it's called tauge. In English, I think it's bean sprout or something. Okay. He exported this bean sprout from Terengganu, or from Malaysia, not from Terengganu, sorry, from Malaysia to Japan. Okay, in freeze dry form. Okay, from 70 cents per kilogram at that time to maybe a higher price. Okay, but in this case, for example, for beverages, freeze drying normally for Nescafe Castle or Nescafe Gold. Okay, it tastes different. The punch of the coffee is, I think, is better than Nescafe Classic. For drum drying, again for the Milo, let's jump to the slide. I think I messed about with the slide. Okay, this is the spray drying. This is the freeze drying. This is for the drum drying. Okay, this is how Milo is being made. Okay, it's been dry, and then the roll will actually rotate. Okay, and finally produce a texture like Milo lah. Okay. This is the common system. Okay, fluidized bed coating is also the same thing. But nowadays, we want also to produce this encapsulation fruit juice that we can see the juice. In this case, we can't see the juice. We can't see the water form of it, isn't it? We will see only the powder. But nowadays, we want to produce it, and we want to see the powder. We want to see the liquid. Okay, more promotion now, so we can see the product. So what we use is this ionic gelation, or pectin gelation, or carrageenan system, or a protein-based gel. These are the technique that nowadays people are using. But the one that I'm using at the moment is only this one, ionic gelation, where we use this calcium alginate, okay, one of the chemical that is being mixed or encapsulating the juice inside it. Okay. And we also have something that's more to the future, or not many people are doing it at the moment. So the information are quite scarce regarding this technique. It's called emulsion and also molecular techniques. Okay, these two are a bit technological front. Okay, the one that I'm not using at the moment. Using the emulsion and also using molecular base. Okay. So these are the comparison. So because at the moment I'm looking for one of the cheapest technique and also the fastest technique to produce. Okay, that's one of the reasons why the originate technique are being used. Okay, you can see here the comparison, okay, between these techniques. We see spray drying, we have the stability is moderate, the cost is low. Okay, this one is the shelf life. It's high. Okay, but freeze drying, low and moderate. Down drying, moderate, low, but it's high here. Pectin gelation, moderate, because we don't know much about this yet. Okay. Ionic gelation is also moderate here and moderate here because still a lot of information needs to be gathered in order for any assumption to be made. Okay. So when we produce the product, when we produce this gel-like product, or what we call here, in my project, we call it sphere ball. Okay? Sphere ball juice or water sphere ball. We produce it and then we have to examine its chemical, physical, microbiological, and also its sensory properties. Okay, this is common for food science. Okay, I think because I've mentioned a lot regarding this technique already, or regarding the reason why to do this encapsulation already. Even though it has been produced, we do have the product, but still research is going on in order to improve these products. Okay, either its stability or its sensory properties or other capabilities of this product. Okay, first one, we can also think about sensitive ingredient. Okay, like the bioactive compound or the chlorophyll or the functional properties of the product. Maybe we can increase it or we can maintain the actual product of it. What about the flavor release? Okay, when we eat, because I think the reason why I put this in, because I thought about that fish oil. Okay, those fish oil in the capsule, it tastes, and now it tastes like something that's not good. So that's one of the reasons why people put it in capsules, so they will just swallow it without tasting the actual product, isn't it? So, but we don't want that. We want the people to taste the product inside the capsule for this fruit juice. Okay, so we can control the flavor release because the product that we produce, it will actually burst out when we chew it. Okay, or we want to pinch it inside the earlier drink is okay, but what we want it to be is when we swallow, when it's inside the mouth, we can actually chew it and then it will burst. Okay, so we can control the taste. And extended shelf life. This is, I think, in my case, a long way to go. So we need to know how to prolong the shelf life. Okay, and at this point, this is another research. Deliver the functional health benefit. So if we have antioxidant, for example, the flavonoid or the anthocyanin, or the all the antioxidants, so we want to know how it's been delivered to our body. Okay, will the encapsulating agent interfere with the process? Because most of the time, this encapsulating agent is interfere with the process, okay, with our body function. For example, we have the drug. Okay, we have alum inside the drug, not inside, outside of the drug. Okay, this alum is actually meant to interfere with our body system so that our body will forget about the drug, and the drug will go and find supposed place for it to remedy, isn't it? So, but when we put other thing like alginate, this alginate, we don't know what it will do to our body. Okay. Okay, so these are the product that actually we are producing at the moment. The first one is cube tea, or maybe some cube coffee. We make the tea, we brew the tea, or we brew the coffee, and then we take the brewed coffee or tea and we press it with some encapsulating agent, and then it will become like this. Okay. And the other one, the second one, is the one that's that I mentioned just now. These are the cube teas. Okay. These are the real student project. The spear water balls. Okay, what is it? Okay, the sphere water ball, where we have the water inside the encapsulating agent, and we can see the water inside. Okay, with the transparent encapsulating agent. Okay, this is a new study for me, so a lot of information need to be gathered and need to be collected for a better understanding. Okay, so these are the product we have now. Pineapple juice sphere ball. This is roselle juice sphere ball, and watermelon juice sphere ball, and dragon fruit sphere ball. Okay, and all of these ball, when you pinch it, and then they will burst. Okay? The issue with this product is the color. Okay, maybe we see these are natural colors. Okay, but they actually changes when we change the pH. Okay, people with antioxidant background, I think, will understand that. And these are the products that we can see in the online, in the internet. I don't know whether it's real or not, but it looks like they are very stable. You know, they're very shiny. Okay. And this one too. Okay. But this is not my product. This is the one that we don't want to happen. Okay. The thing that we want to avoid with our product. We want it, if we put it inside water like this, they will behave differently. Okay. First, they will not have two distinct characteristics here. One set, one actually fall to the bottom, one floats. We want it to be the same. And what we want it to be is they should be at the same size. Okay. So the usability, what we want to use it for. If it's like this, maybe just for just some extra taste. But solubility, will it soluble in this type of water? We want to know that also. And appearances. Okay. Because some of these products, they don't look very good at the moment. Okay. But we need to do a lot more research in order for us to overcome this appearance problem. Okay. But the main problem at the moment for this type of beverage in encapsulating agent is the chef life. Okay. So these are the work. These are the people that has done the work. okay, my undergraduate student, and also these are the lab staff that actually help them with the producing the product and also doing the analysis, either using the machine or handling the machine. Okay, with that, I would like to thank the organizing committee again, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Khairi, for the insightful presentation. We will now proceed to the Q&A session. We invite participants to unmute and ask their question directly, and participants also may submit their question in the chat box. The stage is now open for the question.
Berapa minit ada ni soalan ni?
About 10 minutes more.
10 minutes. Okay.
Any questions?
No question, we can stop early so we can have a break.
Dr. Khairi, boleh tak? Unmute.
Yeah.
Dr. Khairi, I'm just curious, from the list of the encapsulation technique method that you showed before, which is the most suitable for the liquid beverages systems? Can you share?
Okay. Because I did not mention anything regarding the results, isn't it?
Yeah.
This
Just sharing your previous result or finding.
Okay, this is based on water system. So any antioxidant or antioxidative activity determination method that are based on methanol or ethanol system should be fine. For example, we can use DPPH, we can use ABTS, but it's not suitable for TBA or TBRS because those are oil-based. So most of the students, they have done the water-based system.
Okay, Dr. Khairi, we got a question in the text box from Dr. Sabri, UPM. Assalamualaikum, Dr. K. Spare is interesting research, but it may has high water content. How to prolong the shelf life?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sabri. That's a very, very good question to ponder. Okay, and this is our main setback at the moment because this product still doesn't last long. Okay, the main problem is not the color, it's the leaching. The leaching process where, okay, for example, on the first day, the weight may be 0.1 gram, for example. So on the second day, we will lose about 10%. The third day, we lose another 10%. So that's what I meant by the stability. Okay? That's in chill temperature. So if we put it in freezer, it's okay, but it should be in chill. The room temperature, no question. So the main problem at the moment is still the stability. Okay, the color, because we kept it in the chiller, even though we lose some of the weight, still we maintain the color. Okay, I hope that answered the question or from Dr. Sabri. Thank you very much.
Dr. K, we got one more question from Dr. Alia from UPM.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. K. Can you comment on current trend where people choose milk powder without maltodextrin?
Okay. Milk powder without maltodextrin. Okay, in the sensory sense or in the health science sense, I think it's better because it will reduce the amount of sugar, isn't it? But what about the stability? whether they use Arabic gum or Xanthan gum or any type of gum. Okay. At the moment, maltodextrin was recognized as the best encapsulating agent, especially for that type of product. So the trends, maybe at some point it will increase, the usage of maltodextrin might decrease, okay, because of awareness, isn't it? So I think the trend is being kick-started by awareness. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you everyone for your thoughtful questions. And once again, our sincere thanks to Dr. Khairi for sharing his valuable knowledge and expertise with us today. Participants are kindly requested to proceed to your respective breakout room for the oral presentation session. To join the breakout room, please click on the horizontal dots icon next to the red cross icon and select Join Breakout Session. If you wish to leave the breakout session, you may click the red arrow and then click the Leave Session. We wish all the presenters a meaningful presentation and thank you.
So this is market sheet. இது பாத்தீங்கன்னா கப்பல். இது பாத்தீங்கன்னா green color.
You want to start breakout session? I need a